Greetings, YouTube. Today I'm going to talk about the Cold Steel Scimitar. This is an older model. I don't think it's in production any longer. Single position pocking clip. You have one set screw on this side plus the pivot. On this side you have 4 screws and the back end of this, which is also, I believe, the stop pin. And this is a closed construction with a ball feature here on the end. You go. It's a big knife, folks. This is a very big knife. Now, I bought this very early in my knife collecting, my purchasing things online and such. And when I ordered this from someone, I actually ordered it from a dealer, a physical dealer. I actually ordered the non-serrated edition, but the serrated edition came in, and I was like, I wanted the knife, and I wasn't willing to reorder it. So I just I took it, I purchased it, and and I carried this for a bit, and it did the job, the task beautifully. The serrated edge is quite nice, but because of this, look at the serrations on this thing. I never sharpen this because this is going to be a nightmare to sharpen. I mean, I can sharpen these large scallops. I've got a tapered sharpening tool, but look at those tiny little scallops in there. How the heck are you going to sharpen that? It's a very poor design in my mind, just very poor. There's a slight edge here on the tip. I never really touched that up because I didn't feel the need. I was using mostly the belly of this thing to do cut. Overall, it's got a nice sweep here and a nice swedge. It's very evocative. It really does scream, you know, that Persian scimitar type design. And it says Scimitar in very clear letters in here with a little bit of, you know, this kind of a Middle Eastern flair on it. And then on this side, you've got Cold Steel made in Japan. And it's got this detail here, which I think is kind of nice. It gives it a little Middle Eastern flair there. I like that as well. And because of the handle shape in here, this is a very positive knife. This is not going anywhere, and it feels very comfortable in the hand, even though it's a big knife. This is all three-dimensional, you know, so you got tapering in this direction. It's slightly rounded, so it really does contour your hand quite nicely. Well, interesting is that this is a very large liner lock. You get a halfway lockup in there, 50% lockup, rock solid. Really is quite nice. But that's the largest liner lock I've ever seen, and it is quite comfortable. There's got a little bit of jimpy on here. It's it's not very coarse, but since you're really pushing on this side, that doesn't really have much of an effect on it. So it's very comfortable. You don't get any hot spots on your thumb when you're opening and closing it. And there's a very distinct. Can you hear that? And you go come and close. You go right there. You get a detent there. It's very strong. This blade is not popping out without your one hand to come out of the. And you can of course open this with one hand without any difficulty. And it pops quite well with the thumb. But because of the detent, it is a little stiff, and you have to really give it a little extra push to get that to go. I think that the detention was just a little lighter. You might overall have a better design, but that's me. Nobody asked me when they were designing it, but overall, I think it's a nice design. It's very comfortable. It's a big knife, and again, I came to discover that it was way more knife than I wanted to carry. But I do enjoy owning it, and if I wanted to sell it, it's actually worth a fair amount. Even a used copy out there is going in the $75 range. So if I ever wanted to get rid of it, I could. I don't have a particular desire to get rid of it at this point. I like having it in my collection, and the shape is just lovely. That blade shape is very attractive. This is it's not quite a flat grind. It's almost a slight convex grind on the blade, which is nice. And of course, you've got the secondary bevel here, which is the serration. I think this would be nice if you had just that very subtle convex going to as close as you could get to a zero edge, like a micro edge. I think that would be very pleasant in a plain edge. I think it would look good, and I think it would cut well. This is a good slicer. And definitely with this edge, I was able to cut plastic traps and stuff on a regular basis without any difficulty. But again, I don't have any idea how the heck you'd sharpen this thing. I really don't. And to my mind, that's a bad design feature. Designing a scallop you know, a serrated edge that is so fine that the owner is going to have a difficult time sharpening it. But overall, it's a solid design, very comfortable, durable, and it's just a little bit more knife than I realized I needed to carry.